In this episode, I'll try to make you familiar with صاد, ضاد, طاء, and ظاء. Through these videos, I'll try to improve your pronunciation to sounds more like native speakers. You could notice the differences between the sound of D and the sound of ضاد. And I know this letter doesn't exist in English, but the closest sound to it is the emphatic T. And the closest sound to it is an emphatic th, as in mother. And now I'll give you some quick tips to produce the sound of ظاء. Hello everyone, this is me Muhammad from Arabic with Barazy, and in this new episode we're going to complete what we've started in the last one. In this episode we're going to talk about the mispronunciation of صاد, ضاد, طاء, and ظاء, and the errors that non-native speakers do when they pronounce them. So, let's begin. Hello again. As a beginning, let's start speaking about the mistakes of pronouncing صاد. The first one is pronouncing it more like sin or s instead of s. Like saying صديق instead of صديق, which means friend. Or saying صخرة instead of صخرة, which means rock. صديق, صديق, صخرة, صخرة. The next mistake of pronouncing this sound is to involve your lips excessively and make a duck face when we do it. Like saying صالح instead of صالح, صالح instead of صالح. And now let's talk about the mistakes of pronouncing ضاد. The first mistake of pronouncing ضاد is turning it to ظاء. Like saying ضيف instead of ضيف, ضيف instead of ضيف, which means guest. And by the way, this is wrong in modern standard Arabic and in Shami and Lebanese dialect, but it's correct in some other dialects like the Palestinian and Jordanian dialect and also in Gulf dialect. The next one is pronouncing it dal instead of ضاد, like saying ضحك instead of ضحك, ضحك instead of ضحك. And unfortunately, this is so common in Lebanese dialect. The last mistake of pronouncing this sound is to merge it with the next letter. And this happens a lot with new learners because their tongue cannot deal correctly with these new sounds. An example for it is when we pronounce the word مضطر like مضطر, which is wrong because the correct pronunciation of this word is to pronounce the ضاد sound first, then the طاء sound. But when they pronounce it wrong, they only pronounce the طاء sound. By the way, the word مضطر means compelled. مضطر, مضطر, مضطر. And now let's talk about the mistakes of pronouncing طاء. And let me tell you that there is only one major mistake of pronouncing this sound in modern standard Arabic, which is to turn it to T sound. Like when they pronounce the word طريق like طريق. And this is wrong, especially in Shami dialect. So try to pronounce it correctly, like T, not T. Let me remind you that the right pronunciation of the word طريق in modern standard Arabic is طريق with قاف sound at the end. So it's طريق in Shami dialect and it's طريق in modern standard Arabic. And now let's talk about the mistakes of pronouncing ظاء. For this sound also there is only one big major mistake, which is to bring out your tongue out of your mouth more than it needs. Like saying ظهر instead of ظهر, ظهر instead of ظهر, which means back. So don't bring out your tongue out of your mouth more than it needs. Cultural tip. Usually in Shami dialect we replace ظاء sound at the beginning of the word with ضاد sound. Like saying ظهر instead of ظهر, which is noon, and ضفر instead of ظفر, which is nail. So this is correct only in Shami dialect, but it's wrong in modern standard Arabic, so you have to know it. This was everything for today. I hope it was a beneficial video. If you like it, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and also don't forget to tell your friend about this content. See you soon. Goodbye. إلى اللقاء.